Familiar ka ba sa grit? Ano nga ba ito at paano nga ba nakakaapekto to sa buhay natin at sa business natin? Yan ang i-discuss natin dito sa Truly Happy One. Hello po, ako po si Eric Calugdan. Together with us is Sir Enrico Garcia. I used to be an IT consultant for Unisys and then after that put up my own business called Infotex. No, we build mga web and mobile applications. We help SMEs no in their digital strategies so they can be more efficient, more productive and thrive no in any economic situation. Sir Enrico on the other hand used to be the retail operations manager of Shell and then after Shell he became the country manager of Herbalife. After Herbalife he became the Director of Operations for Avon, and one of the board of directors of the Direct Selling Association of the Philippines. Now he is a mindset coach and also the Director for International Operations of Sante. Welcome everyone to Truly Happy One. We do this every where we discuss world-class Pinoy excellence, and we do this every Saturdays at 5 p.m. via Facebook Live and YouTube Live. No? So before we go to our main topic for today, please comment dyan sa Facebook. Kung nasa Facebook kayo, where you are watching from. So type niyo dyan, watching from Mandaluyong, kung sa Mandaluyong kayo nanonood. Or kung kayo nasa YouTube, merong chat dyan sa side. No? You can type in the chat, watching from Dubai, kung kayo nanonood from Dubai. Also, if you have questions or feedback, no, type nyo na rin dyan. And huwag na rin mahiya, please like, comment, no, dagay nyo, itag nyo yung friends nyo sa comment section kung sa tingin nyo makakatutulong itong video na to sa kanila. No? And subscribe na rin para wala kayong mga ma-miss na episodes ng Truly Happy One. Kung nasa YouTube kayo, merong subscribe button dyan sa baba, kulay red. It's free. Just click on that subscribe button para ma-notify kayo ng mga bagong episodes ng Truly Happy One. Ayan. So, Sir Enrico, ang ating topic for today is, do you have grit? Ayan.
Yan. Oh, thank you. Good afternoon, Eric. And of course, good afternoon to our viewers. And our topic today is yung grit, di ba? Siguro naririnig yan, di ba? It's very, kind of American. Well, not really just American, but an English term, di ba? Sa atin, siguro yung pinakamalapit dyan, di ba? Yung sipag at tiyaga. Parang yan yung context niyan, di ba? So, bakit ba importante? Why are we talking about grit, di ba? Kasi ito yung actually, and we will be showing in the next few minutes, di ba? A psychologist actually wrote a book on this. And ano nga ba tong grit, di ba? So maybe nga siguro we should show it already. And then why is there talk about this, di ba? And one of the foremost works on grit is a wonderful PhD in psychology, Angela Duckworth. And she wrote this book. In fact, I do have that book. And she defines yung grit as yung power of passion and perseverance. Okay? Yung grit, yung sinasabi niya, pag sinabi mong passion, ang reference niya dun is you can do something for a very long time. You're talking years, maybe a decade. Diba? Kasi passion mo eh. Diba? Because it's your passion, you can keep doing it. Diba? That's the assumption. Diba? And then
Kahit maraming
perseverance.
challenges, tuloy pa rin.
Yes, like
Mm.
your line of work. Your passion clearly, Eric, is in obviously in the IT space, di ba? You're passionate about that. And that's why even if there are many challenges, you continue to persevere as you have done so in your career, di ba? For a very long time. So this helps explain why some people, and I'll make reference to other examples, di ba? Of people in different disciplines that have shown itong grit. It's a quality of those who have succeeded, that really, when you look back why they're successful, this definitely is one of those elements, diba? That's very important, right? Aside from having that mindset, diba? So sige, this is really her work, and it's really that yung you cannot put down that spirit, di ba? Yung tinatawag natin fighting spirit. Yung kahit hindi titigil, sige lang ng sige, di ba? Yung parang, wow, walang kasawa-sawa ito, di ba? Sige, knock down tayo, di ba? And it's really interesting. Oh, what makes them do that, di ba? And yun na nga, di ba? You're passionate about what you do. And let me just make this reference, di ba? Last end of January, I'm not a tennis fan. I just like watching sports, right? So si Rafael Nadal made history, di ba? As the first man ever in the history of tennis to win 21 Grand Slam titles. Grand Slam, ibig sabihin major. There are four majors in tennis. And he won his 21st at the age of 35. Eric, that's old in professional tennis, especially with the level of competition today. He beat a 25-year-old who is at the peak of his career. Excellent, excellent player. And not only that, I'll put it in perspective. Rafael Nadal had foot injury for most of 2021. So he wasn't able to play. Of course, hindi makapractice. So of course, he wasn't in the tournaments. And syempre, if you're at that level, you have to be playing for you to be able to maintain a certain, level of play, very high level of play. So why we saying that? December he got COVID. Remember, the Australian Open is in January. So in December, COVID siya. He wasn't even sure if he was going to play in the Australian Open. So anyway, fast forward, he did play. So you're happy to even be there. But for him to go all the way, several matches yan until you make it to the finals and eventually clinch it. Ito yung killer. He was down 2 sets, Eric. Sa tennis, potentially, you can go 5 sets. Walang time limit yun.
Mhm.
Maaring matagal yun, maaring mabilis yun. Kunyari, mas straight sets ka. Your opponent beats you first, second, third. Tapos na. 3 out of 5. Tapos na. Diba? I was watching it and he lost the first 2 sets. Sabi ko, wala na to. Wala na. How can you recover? You have to win 3 in succession. And that's what he did. And kaninang umaga,
Wow.
I was just sharing that he, in his mind, he kept saying, and this is his story. He has lost 4 times, potentially 4 more championships dapat yun, in the Australian Open over his career. He placed second on all those 4. He got unlucky and painful loss. Nandun na siya eh. And he lost that. And the whole time he was saying in his interview, it was in his mind. So he had doubts, di ba? But he used that also as his inspiration. Sabi niya, sabi niya, yung kanyang English, I want to believe, di ba? That, up to the end, to give himself a chance. And that's what he did. And he did the almost impossible unthinkable. I mean, it was, if you heard everybody, not just on the live, even on social media, it was just unreal. To recover from that and to win it, wow, that was just, I mean, we're glad that we're around to witness that, because I don't think you're going to witness something like that in a very long time. Just my opinion. So, yan yung kanyang sikreto. Every point, he's fighting until the end, Eric. If you listen to his,
Mhm.
I fight for every point and up to the end. Imagine 2 sets down. Normally, the regular guy will just put up their hands and say,
Correct.
wala na. Wala na, talo na eh. Why fight? Down ka na ng 2 sets. Mas laki, galing-galing nung kalaban. So that clearly is great. He's passionate about the sport, and he was trained early on to work for every ball. Kaya nga indomitable yung spirit niya. Diba? Drive for achievement regardless of upbringing or situation. Exactly. He came
Mhm.
from not a wealthy family, diba? Earning success in the trenches through hard work. Yeah. In fact, people say if you watch Nadal, mapapagod ka kasi it's such a physical game.
Oo.
Really. Unlike Federer, who's just gliding through the court, di ba? This guy is, talagang grinding it. Yun yung term nila, di ba? Talagang pigang-pinga. And that's why he has a lot of fans, because he's really working very hard for every shot. Okay? So yan, good example yan ng grit, di ba? In fact, yan, di ba? They always try to find a way, di ba? Growth pirme, yung how can I improve? How can I get better? Walang tigil yun. Anong motivation niya, Eric, to succeed? 20 titles na siya.
Hmm.
Some tennis pros, they win once or twice, they retire. And you're talking that's going to span maybe 10, 15 years in the tour. This guy
Correct.
has 20. Wala
Mhm.
nang motivation to win another one, to go through all of that, just to win another one. So clearly, he's so passionate about the game. He's so passionate about excellence. He's so passionate about putting everything that he has in every game. It's like
Mhm.
it's like he's just trying to win his first. And that's why he's a great champion, di ba? And then resilience, di ba? You can read naman, di ba? Bouncing back from adversity. Yeah, you're down 0-2. Di ba? And using that
Correct.
adversity to be able to inspire him to, to fight and eventually turn things around, which he did, yeah? Instinct, di
Mhm.
ba? Our goal is the best way, not the hardest way. Or in his way is fight for every shot. Then tenacity. Kitang-kita mo kay Nadal. Every shot. Watch it. I'm sorry, I'm so passionate about sports,
Mhm.
but never say die. That's exactly him. That's why he has a strong fan base because people like that he never said down na siya ng nagahabol ka pa, 'di ba?
Mm.
So it's that tama indomitable spirit, 'di ba? Now, in
Wow.
business, you have this. Ikaw, you're an example of that, Eric. You
Mhm.
never stop, di ba? And then there are many, di ba? The Steve Jobs, that grit, di ba? Until you produce the best, di ba? You see it in Steve Jobs, you see it in CEOs, di ba? Those that succeed, they have this in common. And that's why we're talking about
Nice.
it. Kailan talaga
Mm.
you're willing to work on yung passion mo and
Yes.
persevere.
Yes. And hello po muna sa ating mga viewers. Si Sharon po nanonood sa atin, si Tabs
Hi,
also
Sharon.
nanonood, and si Toots.
Wow.
Sabi ni Toots, very inspiring, sir. Yung
Oh,
story
wow.
ni Nadal. Yan.
Yes. You should really. Yeah.
Oo. Yes, so if you have questions no, or feedback about our discussion today, type nyo lang dyan sa comment section sa Facebook or chat dyan sa YouTube. Ayan. So, sir, yung grit, ano yung magiging effect niya sa atin, sa personal life natin and sa business natin?
Yan, sa personal life, 'di ba? Whatever it is that you're trying to know, if you have grit, 'di ba? You will go after your passion and persevere in it. So in other words, it's an ingredient for you to be successful in a chosen path, 'di ba? So whether it's becoming the best father, spouse, or member of your community, 'di ba? To becoming the best employee, 'di ba? Or the best boss, or the best, friend to people, or obviously, the best business. It's this. You need to have this, 'di ba?
Hindi
If
yung
you want
parang
to
bahala na,
konti.
yung bahala na attitude
Oo, at saka
or
konting
relax
konting
masyado.
konting pagsubok lang tiklop na.
Oo,
You
give
won't get
up agad.
anywhere. Oo,
Correct, correct.
you won't get
Yeah.
anywhere. This is closely tied to yung growth mindset. Now you're
Mhm,
constantly trying to improve. Yeah? You're looking for ways to get better. Diba? Hindi
mhm.
ka tumitigil. Relentless, di ba? Na improving. What can I do to get better? Di ba? So
Correct,
let,
correct.
let me cite an Olympian, our first gold medal ever in Philippine Olympic history, Heidelin Diaz. Yan
Mhm.
ang grit, di ba? She was being bashed nung in 2018. Wala na siyang funds. She was asking for money. She was being bashed. And, wow. She went to Malaysia. Walang tamang equipment. Binubuhat yung dalawang ng water. Di ba? Just to train. Di ba?
Correct.
Oh, we have our athletes. You name it. It's the same story. Di
Mhm,
ba?
mhm. Parang
So,
kayo rin sir 'no, yung inyong grit na mag-share ng mga wisdom sa ating mga viewers dito sa Truly Happy One.
well, yeah, not for me, but really to illustrate this, yung passion natin, Eric, our joint
Mhm.
passion to help, build that world-class mentality, 'di ba? Na kahit kuminsan ilan lang viewers natin, but sige, tuloy, 'di ba? We,
Yes.
we put together, we put the topic that, and we're passionate about it. And that's why
Mhm.
we're here even after I don't know how many episodes already.
Two
Obviously.
na ngayon sir, ito yung pang 72 episode natin. And para
Right.
FYI sa ating mga viewers, lahat ng topics na 'to, si Sir Enrico yung bumubuo 'no, ako yung parang ano lang, taga bouncing board lang at, taga-tanong ng, questions kay Sir Enrico. Pero lahat ng topic na 'yan, it's all Sir Enrico's grit and passion na yun nga 'no, lahat ng Pinoy can be a world-class Pinoy. 'Di ba, Sir Henry?
Yes, absolutely. So yun. Eric, and this applies definitely to people in business. Kasi di ba yan naman yung focus natin.
Mhm,
Especially in today's world, Eric, I wanted to say that, say this, the generation today is just different from older generations. Okay, they're
mhm,
more used to having things, at their convenience, diba? So sometimes that can also be a curse, diba? Meaning
mhm,
there's also a downside to that because you're so used to having everything instant, diba?
mhm.
Everything. Um, some, I'm not saying all, okay, generally, nagiging ano yon. That's why sometimes parang konting subok lang, di ba? A few
Nagku-quit agad.
try, oo, di ba? Kasi nga,
Mhm.
the world is, I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yung
I'm
tawag dun microwave mentality, 'di ba?
right.
Na
It's not their
ginawa
fault
mo
na,
yeah, nasanay
oh,
sa
it's not their
instant
fault that
gratification.
conveniences are there, di ba? They're
Mhm,
born into that, that's their world. But yun nga, sometimes what that does is, syempre, your expectation, di ba, on anything and
mhm.
everything. You can have a product from any other part of the world brought to you in a day or two if you chose to. Di
Correct.
ba? Oh,
Mhm,
so, syempre, sanay ka sa ganun. And yet, other generations grew up where, no, you didn't have any of that. And the path
mhm.
to, was to endure. Again, I'm not saying the other one is right or better than the other. It's just a different, di ba,
Correct, correct.
circumstance. But
Ayan,
that's
nanonood
the
din
one.
sa'tin,
Yeah.
sir. Oo,
Yeah, go ahead.
si Mama Edith, Kalugdan,
Oh,
watching from
hello.
Cavite. Birthday
Wow.
niya nung 2, happy
Oy, wow.
birthday.
Oy, wow. Happy birthday. Happy
Also,
birthday,
si
tita.
Buenafe watching from
Of
Mandaluyong via
course.
YouTube naman ngayon. Ayan. Sabi
Always,
ni
yeah.
Tabs, "Greet on starting Monday. Very inspiring. However, how do we know when to stop?"
Well, Tabs, you don't really, it's again, ito yung challenge, and it's a good question. Lalo na ang dami, they like to go extremes, 'di ba? Let's take for example, magja January 1, I'm going to eat properly, I'm going to exercise, I'm going to do this. My goodness, it's too extreme. 'Di
Mhm.
ba? Kumbaga, don't go too extreme. You're here right now totally unhealthy, then you want to go to the other end of the spectrum in 1 week. No, no, 'di ba? You know that takes a lot, 'di ba? So what I'm trying to say is, hey, balance it, work at it with passion and perseverance. But that doesn't mean 24 hours a day you're working on it, 'di ba? Especially if there's a physical part to it or even a mental part to it.
Mhm.
The thing is, can you be consistent? Yun yung mas importante. It doesn't do you any good. You're working 24 hours a day on it. Baka naman after 1 week, you're so burned out from it. See, the
Correct.
keywords are passion, so you can sustain it over a long period of time. When you say long, you're looking at 10 years, di ba? And
Mhm.
then perseverance is you keep working on it
Mhm.
consistently.
Pero meron bang time, sir, na parang it's time to stop? Parang hindi ano, kasi kung passion mo
No.
talaga siya, hindi ka
Compassion mo,
titigil,
'di
eh.
ba? Oo, it's
Oo
not
'no?
stop. Maybe take your breaks, right? 'Di ba? You do need
Uh-huh,
that, 'di ba? So,
uh-huh,
wag extremist. May tendency dito, 'di ba? Napapansin ko 'yan. Hindi na ako kakain ng rice. Hindi na ako kakain. Hindi 'yun eh. You cannot sustain that, 'di
correct,
ba?
correct.
That's going to
Ayan,
the other side. It's just too big a change. So you end up not doing it, 'di ba?
tama.
Let's get
Ayan,
real, 'di ba? Imposible, 'di ba?
correct. Sabi nga ni Maan, ayan, balance and consistency,
Of
ganda.
course, 'di ba? Oh, let's get
Mm,
real. You're not eating well, tapos gusto mo maging super ano ka, ay pambira naman. You know what's going to happen, 'di ba? Ay wala pang
correct,
2 linggo, give up ka na.
correct.
It's
And
too
may question
yeah.
dito, does having the grit means you need to have the impossible to fail mindset?
Well, I wouldn't say it's not that. Again, we're not going extreme here. It's just you keep working at it. You're
Mhm,
relentless in, okay, that was good, but can I get better? I'll use again Rafael Nadal as an example. Di ba? Imagine you already have 20 major titles. That's more than the or maybe most of those tennis players, di ba? Even in not
Mhm.
just his era, but even in history. Yet they're finding ways to, build their conditioning better, recover better. How do they play so that as they age, they don't beat themselves up that much? So it's that mentality, di ba? Every little
Correct.
thing they're trying to adjust. They're not going like imposible ako man. And no, you will. And in fact, he did fail, di ba?
Mhm.
It's
Siguro
not the
instead
failing.
na yeah, instead na impossible to fail, it's more of failing forward, 'di ba? Na
Hmm,
you expect to fail pero you don't stop there. No, you get up again and work on it again, 'di ba? Move
correct.
forward. Yun nga, failing forward.
Yeah, failing forward, and tama yun, napaalala mo sa akin, Eric, it's, you only fail when you don't try.
Yes.
Ayan, failure yun. Di
Or
ba? Yun.
nag-fail ka tapos you stop, you quit.
O
That's
nga,
the
hindi ka na
only time to
magta-try.
fail.
Oh,
You
hindi ka
quit.
na
Oo, hindi
susubok
ka na
ulit.
nag-try.
Yeah.
Correct, correct.
So that's when you fail. So
Yes.
again, I'm just passionate about, don't be extremist, di ba? Na parang, or it's just totally detached. Remember, grit is going to, it's, you need resilience because you're going to experience setbacks. You're going to experience failures along the way, di ba?
Correct,
So it
correct. Yeah,
doesn't
sabi
mean
yeah,
not, no failure. No. Di ba?
oo. Sabi nga ni Sharon, success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations.
Absolutely.
From James
Correct.
Clear.
Thank you.
Yan.
Exactly. Di ba?
Correct, correct.
Di ba?
Sabi ni Buenafay, prior to Pia, Miss Universe victory, she had two losses, but her grit to win the crown at all costs was very exceptional and
I
inspiring.
I agree. And in fact, a very good friend of my wife is a manager of Pia. So, we ate out once, and Pia was there. And, really, my admiration for her is exactly that. Di ba? She was determined. And she, in fact, if you remember when she was asked, wow, how come you answered that well? And I remember she said, well, after three notebooks, you kind of get good at it. So she
Uh-huh.
was actually, rehearsing and learning from her past.
Taking notes, no?
Yeah.
From failures. Oo, yun.
Yes.
So, may mga failure siya before, pero ginawa
Yes.
niya yun as a learning experience
Correct.
and
Correct.
took down notes.
Kaya ako
Yes.
nagulat sa niya. Siguro naman pagkatapos ng tatlong notebook, I said, wow. And that's why really, lalo akong, oh, wow. Di ba? Kasi determined, persistent. Yan,
Mm.
may grit talaga. Di ba? That she was
Yep.
willing to, and do what needed to be done so that she could give herself a chance. Di ba?
Yep. Yeah, sabi rin ni Buenafe, despite the lack of resources, the grit of Heidelin Diaz resulted to an unexpected and a surprise win.
Oh,
Correct.
absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't say surprise in the sense that she was already a silver medalist in Rio in 2016, the
Mm.
Olympics prior to 2020. Well, dapat 2020 Olympics, but naging 2021, di ba? So,
Mhm.
she was already there. But what happened after Rio was, wow, she lost her sponsors and wow, di ba? She was asking for help, di ba? Nagkaroon pa ng COVID during the Olympic year, so na-move to 2021, di ba?
Mm.
Kung wala kang grit, hindi ka tatagal. You probably would have just quit. Nag-silver na ako.
Oo. Tas wala pang suporta daw ng government nung time na yun.
Yeah, yeah, and yun na nga, 'di ba?
Oo.
So those things will happen for whatever reason, 'di ba? Yun na nga, you have a choice eh. Will you she loves the sport. See, Rafa Nadal the same thing, loves the sport, 'di ba?
Mhm, mhm.
So
Talagang
sa
yun
kan
yung goal nila.
oh, 'di ba? To pour out everything in every game, in every shot. It's a mentality.
Hmm,
That's what I'm saying, 'di ba? It's a
correct, correct.
mentality, 'di ba?
Yan, sabi rin ni Bonifay, David's grit to defeat Goliath was a classic example of imposing his will to face the greatest opponent.
Yeah. Again, it applies to everything, di ba? War, whether the war, the conventional war, or the modern war of being able to hurdle or climb over your obstacles, right? And you can express that as a war that you're fighting, right? And of course, di ba? The grit is very important. In fact, interestingly, one of the first chapters in that book is yung sa, I don't know if it's West Point. No, Marine Corps, I think. Well, anyway, it's
Mhm.
in the book, and there are thousands that apply there, and it's just a few are actually selected or make it,
Mhm.
diba?
Mhm.
It's only
Sa
those who
Marines
have
yata 'yun nakuwento niyo before, sir?
right Marines and
Oo.
even the Navy SEALs is the same thing.
Ayun, Navy SEALs din, oo.
Yeah, oh yun medyo wow. You really have to have
Correct.
grit. Otherwise, it's the ordinary person will quit on
Mm.
that. In fact,
Yeah, ito
that's
pa, ayan.
yeah. Go ahead.
Ito yung lagi natin pinapanood na video sa mga trainings natin.
Oh,
I've missed more
absolutely.
than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed. Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, remember
Comment
we
ni Sharon.
yes, remember we show that. Thank you, Sharon. Yeah, because
Yes.
exactly I always show that. And Michael Jordan, some of his teammates na nagkainitan sila because he would always push them. Hey, 'di ba? Parang play, 'di ba? Practice
Mhm.
lang 'yun. Akala mo kung maglaro sila parang kasi nga yung
Finals na.
kasi yung
Parang finals na.
mentality. Yun yung
Uh-huh.
mentality. And I'm lucky that my generation yan were the three of them, Jordan, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. Very different. Puti si Bird, he's not as
Mhm.
physically gifted as the two. Jordan and Johnson are both, black,
Mhm.
but Jordan is physically the most endowed among the three. Johnson is, of course, they're all tall. They're at least 6'8", diba? Jordan is only 6'6". But as different as they were from their background, their race, the three of them had one thing in common. They were relentless competitors. Hindi tumitigil in getting better kasi in their mind, pag hindi ako nag-ensayo, si Larry Bird or si Magic Johnson is nag-ensayo, mauunahan ako nun. And the three of them had the same thinking, working on themselves so hard. And that's why, if you go back in history, those three were just in a different level. Larry Bird is not physically gifted, pero wow, he made up for it in so many other parts. His shooting, the playmaking. Oh, so the three of them stood out because of that grit to excel.
Galing. Galing,
Excel.
galing.
Yeah.
Yes. Ayan, may question po dito si Buenafes. Sabi niya, how do you assert your will to accomplish a big project if your partners don't have the same intensity of grit? Should you detach from them and make it on your own or find other energized partners?
Well,
Magandang question yan.
yeah. And here's my answer to that. When people say, paano if my partner? My direct answer to that is grit, as far as I'm concerned, is not dependent on, you know, like in what I'm doing now, Eric. Even if I'm not paid, even in this, it's
Mhm.
because of the passion. See,
Correct.
so I don't need an outside force for me to the grit. I'm doing it because it's my passion, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I mean. I'm not saying that for me, but I'm just trying to highlight that it is not because of some outside force that I will put on grit or not put on grit. You put on
Mhm.
grit because you're passionate about what you're doing. Of course, presumably you are doing something you're passionate about, right?
Mhm.
Because if you're not, then you wouldn't persevere. Right?
Pero meron ba sir na parang grit na group siya? Parang group grit? Meron
Yeah,
bang gano'n? Or it's always
meron.
individual?
Hindi, meron, assuming all of you are passionate about the same thing. Like it could be a
Mm.
team, right?
Mhm.
You're passionate about being the best. And there are some who have that. And that's why they become, great as a team. Whether it's in a sport, it's in a corporate setting. Merong ganun eh. That it happens that all of you are passionate about, putting out your best. Wow. Yeah. Like the Bulls ng Jordan during his
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
They were just, about putting out the best. And that's why
Nice.
they ruled in the mid 90s, diba? Championship after
Oo, and
champion after.
siguro 'no, kung hindi kayo pareho ng grit or ng passion, maghanap ka ng ibang partners or friends 'no, na may parehong grit and passion. 'di ba?
Correct,
Sa
correct,
business na 'yon or sa sports
correct,
na 'yon or sa activity na 'yon,
correct,
'di ba?
correct. Yeah.
Ayan, sabi ni Maan, "Like you both, I admire the grit. Truly happy one. Salute. God bless you both."
Salamat, Maan. Yeah. It's
Thank
just
you, Maan.
because, yeah, we're passionate. Just like you, man. What you do, I mean, is wonderful. Your live stream, you're passionate about that to help people organize and yeah, and that's why nga tama talaga, di ba? Yung passion and perseverance. Hindi ka kasi
Mhm.
mag-persevere kung hindi mo passion eh, di ba? Siyempre,
Correct.
di ba?
Correct, correct.
So, kung passion mo, kahit wala pang ano yun, you will persevere.
Ayan. Ito magandang question. Parang, minsan nako-confuse siya sa adrenaline. So ang question ni Benefit, what if the grit is just an adrenaline rush that might die down anytime? How will you sustain it until the project becomes successful?
Okay. So remember that the grit is made up of two important ano, 'di ba? Number one is the passion. So it means you love doing what you do. Whatever that is. For some people that could be cleaning the house. And you pay them, you don't pay them, they just do it because they love it, right? So
Mhm.
that's number 1. Number 2 is because you love it so much, you will persevere. Like I said, whether you're paid or not. So the adrenaline is you need adrenaline obviously for tight situations. That doesn't necessarily mean it is grit. Fight or flight yung adrenaline. That's the body's response, di ba, to a stimulus, di ba? Normally, you need the adrenaline to get you through. Kunyari, pinatsalita ka in front of ano. So adrenaline rush, gising na gising ka kahit ano. And then when the adrenaline wears out, boom, di ba? So it's not really, I wouldn't say adrenaline is grit because grit you've got to sustain over a long period of time, di ba? It's not just a flash, not just once, di ba? Not just for the moment. That's not necessarily grit, di ba?
Correct, correct. And ito pa, is a question. Is it possible for a small player to overthrow the big ones just for its exceptional grit?
Of course you can. Again, I'll go back to Rafael Nadal. He competed against the number 2 seed in the world at that time, 25 years old. Nadal is 35. Um, Daniil Medvedev was what, 6'6". Nadal is at most 6'1". So, lahat nung ano, 'di ba? And Medvedev had won, hindi naman straight sets, but most of his matches, he won it with, relative ease, except one or two. Nadal had to fight, to get to the finals. Also there, 'di ba? Classic example, 'di ba? Nagka-COVID
Correct.
pa, 'di ba? Nung
Ayan. Meron pa
December.
tayong, challenge, kahit anong challenge basta yun yung passion and grit mo, tuloy pa rin.
Yeah, laban. 'Di ba? It's that
Correct,
kasi
correct.
kaya nga gustong-gusto ko yung kay Nadal. He's so passionate about tennis na makapaglaro lang siya, masaya na siya. And
Mhm,
pag naglaro siya, it's every time it's a tournament. Yun yung
mhm,
mindset niya. Hindi dahil tournament kasi gusto ko talaga I put my best in every little shot. Yun nga,
mhm.
it's the mentality, di ba? I'm trying to be the best in everything that I do, specifically that which I'm passionate about. Siyempre.
Correct, correct. Ito sabi ni CJ Teodoro, "Grit is a combination of passion and perseverance according to Angela Duckworth. Grit is the
Yeah,
passionate pursuit of long-term goals."
absolutely. Yeah, that's what it is, di ba? So yun nga,
Yep.
that's why I said yung passion, and because of that, you persevere, di ba?
Mhm.
Like si Nadal, why would you need to punish yourself? Imagine that was 5 hours, Eric. Yung match na yun.
Wow!
Five,
Tuloy-tuloy,
hou-
5 hours?
Uy, 5 hours yun, Eric. I mean,
Wow!
they finished way past midnight Australian time.
Grabe.
Yeah, imagine to play at that level, that
Mhm.
intensity, the stress physically and mentally. And then you
Correct.
have the whole stadium or crowd, cheering you on and, getting stressed along the way to sustain that over 5 hours. Wow.
Wow!
And
Grabe.
remember, the guy already had 20 titles. Normally, come on, you win one major championship. Wow, that's an achievement. Yes. What? Ask yourself, why would this guy be that hungry?
Correct.
Why would he punish himself through? He was spent after that. But why would
Yeah.
you do that unless you were passionate about it? Yeah.
Yes. Ayan, meron pa tayong isang slide dito, sir. Ano ba
Yes.
'to?
Please go here. This is Angela Duckworth, the author of that book. Meron siyang grit scale. You take a test and
Mhm.
it tells you at the end of that yung score mo if you have grit. Answer it as honestly as
Hmm.
you possibly can, and it will help you determine if you do have grit. It's a very
Oh,
nice,
wow.
ano. Yeah, just go there. It's free, and then so you can assess yourself. For
Galing.
sure,
So,
if you're
it
passionate about something, I am certain you will show the grit. Kaya nga yung
yes.
key is yung passion.
Yan. So, si Lorna Dal watching us also, hello po. So, check nyo kung meron kayong grit, just go to angeladuckworth.com/grit-scale. Ayan. Next would be, what are your takeaways? So, type nyo dyan sa comment section sa Facebook, or kung kayo ay nasa YouTube, type nyo dyan sa chat, what are your takeaways sa ating topic for today? Ayan. Ako, ang aking takeaway is, kahit anong mangyari, 'pag meron tayong passion, meron tayong grit, talagang push lang lagi, 'no? Push mote, 'no? Push lang lagi 'yan. Kailangan natin ng sipag, 'no, ng tiyaga nga, at walang atrasan attitude, 'no? Never quit. Puwedeng mag-fail, it's possible to fail, pero we always fail forward or learn from our mistakes and get up again, 'no, and work on it. Work hard always, 'no? Always focus on growth. Make sure na we learn every ev every time, 'no? Hindi yung alam na natin 'yan tapos we stop learning na, 'no? Puro entertainment na lang yung kinukuha natin. That's why meron din tayong Truly Happy One, 'no? Para every week may nadadagdag sa ating kaalaman, 'no? Naggo-grow tayo every week. And you have to be resilient. You have to have the instinct, no, to do it the smart way, hindi lang basta hard work. It should also be the right work, the smart way to doing the work, no, more efficient. And you have to have tenacity, no, or persevere lagi, 'di ba? Walang atrasan, never quit. Ayan. Kayo, Sir Enrico, ano po yung takeaway?
Yeah, thank you. All of that is, well, ano sa akin, I'll simplify it. You can either buy your own excuses or produce your results.
Mhm.
Di ba?
Correct.
So,
You
it's up
can
to
only
you.
have one.
Yeah,
Hindi it's either you have excuses or results. You cannot have both. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So,
Correct,
to
correct.
me, that's my key takeaway talaga on the things you're passionate about. You either
Yes.
buy your excuses or get the results. Di ba?
Correct. Ayan, sabi ni Maan, "Wow, salamat po, try ko 'yan, Grit Scale." Oo, yung website.
Yes, man. That's nice.
Sabi ni CJ, "Takeaways, passion and perseverance, never quit in life." Correct, 'no? And
Yeah,
sabi ni Benefe, "There's equal opportunity for all, but the result depends on who has the grit for that
abs-
opportunity." Correct.
absolutely.
Grit
Absolutely.
means you do it also with strong purpose, intention, passion, and dedication to succeed.
Of
Correct.
course.
Galing. Okay, and ang topic natin next week is why stories sell. So, konting intro dito, sir, sa topic natin next week.
Right. Narinig na natin people say, facts tell, story sell. Dapat storyteller ka. Bakit nga ba? You'd be surprised. It's not just, because it's amusing or there's science behind it. And there's
Mhm.
reason. And again, we'll share with you what one guy did was to study why nga are these guys so influential. And apparently, he broke it down to a few things that are common to all. It's similar to
Mhm.
yung grit among athletes, di ba? They
Mhm.
have that common thread kahit iba-iba yung background nila, iba-iba yung race, iba-iba yung socio-economic standing, pero yung commonalities nila as to why they succeed is the same here.
Wow, magandang topic yan next week. Exciting. So, para hindi nyo ma-miss, make sure you subscribe na may subscribe button dyan sa baba. Click nyo lang yan. It's free para ma-notify kayo kapag meron na tayong bagong episode. No? Hello din kay Evelyn watching us ngayon.
Oh, hello,
Okay.
Evelyn. Yeah.
So, let's end our episode with our usual panatang makabayan. So, taas natin ang ating kanang kamay at bigkasin ang panatang makabayan. Iniibig ko ang Pilipinas, aking lupang sinilangan, tahanan ng aking lahi. Kinukupkup ako at tinutulungan upang maging malakas, masipag at marangal. Dahil mahal ko ang Pilipinas, diringgin ko ang payo ng aking mga magulang. Susundin ko ang tuntunin ng lipunan, tutuparin ko ang tungkulin ng mamayang makabayan, naglilingkod, nag-aaral at nagdarasal ng buong katapatan. Iaalay ko ang aking buhay, pangarap at pagsisikap sa bansang Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po and we'll see you again next
Salamat.
Saturday, 5 p.m. dito lang sa Truly Happy One.